For my breakfast, I'm having the leftover beet and cucumber salad, and I put some feta cheese on top because I'm the only one that really wants it the second day. So my husband had it, he liked it, but he didn't want to take it for lunch. So, and my girls weren't fond of it, and they're still sleeping as it's a PD day. So for lunch, I'm going to use one package from this box of 4 I got from Costco of the Red Lobster biscuits. I have a recipe on my Pinterest for a copycat recipe, which is also very good. But this is already made, and it comes with the seasoning packet, and all you add is water, butter, and grated cheese. So, I'm using stuff from my pantry, so I'm going to use one package of this, and that's the seasoning garlic butter. So I'm going to put this package in the bowl. I'll put a link for the copycat recipe for the Red Lobster biscuits in case you want to make your own, but also the ones from Costco are very easy and very good. I'm using some frozen grated cheese that I had in the freezer. So I defrosted it, but defrosting it I kind of semi-melted some of it. But that's okay, I'm just going to be throwing that in there anyways. So I usually will grate a block of cheese, but I don't always use that block in a recipe. So when I don't use it, I'll put it in a Ziploc bag and I'll freeze it and mark it cheese. Hopefully I'll mark it cheese. I've done it with my food saver once, and it didn't turn out very well, just because it took the shredded cheese and took out all the air and squished it all down, and it became a big huge mound of cheese. I mean, it crumbled fine and it lasted a long time, but I was like, oh, I either have to shred the cheese first and then freeze it on a cookie sheet, then put it in a bag and food save it, or put it in Ziploc bags, as it doesn't seem to get freezer burnt or anything. But once you freeze cheese, you could just take a block too and freeze it and then just crumble it. The reason right now I'm crumbling this is because I had some pieces melt a bit, so I want to break them up with the floury mixture so it's nice and crumbled, so you don't have a big huge chunk of cheese in one area. And stir it up so it's all nice. You don't have to do that. I was just doing it because I defrosted my microwave for 30 seconds, and then it calls for 3/4 cup of water. It says to preheat your oven for 425, but I have a convection oven, so I set it for 400, because what I was reading up on it is that you can either decrease the amount of time on the convection oven or keep the same amount of time in a recipe but decrease by 25 degrees. So that's what I'm doing. I didn't realize that I had to do that when I first got my oven. I got it free from a friend of mine who was getting a new oven, and my old oven had a cracked glass top. That one burner didn't work for the longest time, and then 2 burners didn't work, so that wasn't really safe to use. And she was getting a new stove, and I took her old one, and I'm like, yay. So there we go. Now I'm going to put this on my cookie sheet with the slip lat on it. And So now I'm just taking this. It's supposed to make 10, so I'm going to try and get 10 little balls. You don't want to mix it too much, it says. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Could take some from other ones and make a couple in the center. Some are quite big. There we go. So now I'm just going to pop that in the oven. It just dinged saying it was ready. And then it says here, 14, 16 minutes. There we go. I'll just put a timer. So I'm going to make the garlic butter now. There is about 11 minutes left on the timer. I'm going to microwave it. But I'm going to make garlic butter and put some of the butter also over here. Because I know last time I made the seasoning packet, it's really, really, really good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it kind of fancy. One of my daughters likes escargot. And I literally get them in a can. They're cheap. They're $2. These ones are $2. Sometimes they're $1.50. They're not the greatest looking because they're like the ones that are like too small to sell in the restaurants and stuff like that. But I'm going to make the garlic butter packet and I'm going to split it between the two bowls and do one for the topping of the biscuits and the other one for the snails, the escargot. And I know the seasoning is just like the garlic butter seasoning for escargot in a restaurant, but I don't like spending that type of money. I'm cheap. So also another herb garlic seasoning. There's one from Epicure that is super duper yummy. And I'll show you. This is my go-to thing. It's awesome. Herb garlic. It's like the herb garlic butter for lobster or shrimp or garlic bread. This is really good of just making tortellini, cooking up and putting some melt some butter and this on top, and it's oh so yummy. And a little bit goes a long way. Like you can see, it's like half full now, but it's definitely one of the ones that are worth it. Like it has a recipe here. It says 3 tablespoons with mayo and sour cream for a dip. It is definitely yummy. There, just open up the tin of escargot. I'm just going to go drain them, and then I'm just pouring them in. And I'm going to microwave it for a minute, stir, and do another minute. So there's the biscuits. Turn this off. And it says, so this is half of the garlic powder mixture with some butter. It says to paint the biscuits with the butter. It's very garlicky. So if you're not a big garlic person, just use half the package like what I'm doing right now. We are a garlic person, but I'm using it for escargot, the other half. My daughter, who doesn't like snails, is going to have the chicken salad that she made the other day with the biscuits. And my daughter and I will have escargot. Not the healthiest lunch, but we'll have that, and we'll have the leftover coleslaw. There we go. Oh, the escargot is done too. And here's the escargot. All I did was put them in the microwave for a minute, and then I wasn't completely melted the butter, so I put another minute. Just watch out, they do pop in the microwave, so just be careful with them. Quite yummy. Yum. That's my daughter who doesn't like escargot. So for supper tonight is going to be sausage and peppers and boiled potatoes. I haven't decided if I am going to mash them or not. So all I did was I put a little bit of oil at the bottom of my pan, and I put the peppers and onions in the Cuisinart, and sliced them. And then I will put a link to the recipe that's inspired me. I'm not completely following it, but I am following it a bit. And it called for a can of tomatoes. These ones have herbs, so I'm going to put those in. And it called for a tablespoon of tomato paste. This one has garlic as well. In my house, you can never have too much garlic. And it called for garlic, but I'm going to use garlic powder and basil. And salt and pepper. And there, I had to use the grinder, so I need both hands. So now I'm just going to stir this all together. And then, like, the recipe called it for the sausages to be cut up, but last time I made sausage and peppers and I cut sausages, my husband wanted them not cut. He wanted them whole, and for him to cut them himself. I'm like, okay, fine. So when I purchase sausages, I usually get a package of hot and a package of mild. Because sometimes my kids like them spicy, or like a little bit spicy. And one of my kids isn't really that big on spice. But also the recipe called for hot pepper flakes, which I'm not going to put because I am using spicy sausage. And the juices from the sausages should drip down into the veggies. I don't want them to be too spicy. Unfortunately, one of my kids will not eat onions and peppers. So I'm going to also be doing some broccoli, which I know she'll eat. And I have the potatoes. So the only way she eats them is if I chop them up too small. But she can't pick them up. So that's all mixed together. And I'll put the sausages on. So this is the package of sausages from last March. I'm just going to lay them on. I'm going to try and see if I can tell which ones are the spicy, which are usually redder, and do like a spicy and not spicy, but I can't really tell. They're all kind of looking the same, so hopefully I have it well spread out. It's hard to do it one-handed. There we go. So I'll put this in the oven and put these on the stove, and I'll start cutting up broccoli. So I just cut up the last bit of broccoli in my fridge. And now I definitely have enough stock, so I have 2 more in the fridge, that I will make a cream of broccoli soup at some point. I think I might throw these into the food processor and chop them up and put them in a bag. Or maybe freeze them, because my family had cream of broccoli soup a while ago, and I don't think they want it right now, so I know I like it. My family, it's a hit and miss, so. But what I do with to make cream of broccoli soup, and it's basically almost a free meal, is I use the bottoms of the broccoli, chop them up, and I usually use maybe 1 head of broccoli, and I puree it and use like chicken broth that I've made and seasonings, maybe a onion or that, and then I add like a roux to thicken it up with milk and that. So that's not a very expensive meal. Usually I throw in cheese too. I usually grab a recipe and be inspired and sort of follow it. I just hate measuring. So all I'm doing with the broccoli here is I've cut into little pieces. I'm going to put a little bit of water in it, and I'm going to steam them in the microwave. And then once they're steamed, I'll drain the water and just put cheese on top. And that's it. And there's the broccoli. I drained it, and I'm putting cheese. And I'm going to microwave it. And that's the cooked sausage and peppers. And the potatoes, I just put some butter in, and I'm going to put some salt. So you can see the sausage and peppers. I turned these around already once. So put some buttered potatoes, buttered and salted potatoes on the plate. And sausage, put 2 sausages, nice bit of sausage and peppers. Get some of the juices. There we go. There's the broccoli and cheese, and I put some on the plate. So that's going to be supper tonight. And that's about it. Enjoy. I'll put the link to the recipe for the sausage and peppers below.